Okay, so this is part 2 of our thumb vise videos. So what we're going to do now is create part 2 on this existing part. So rather than starting it in all separate parts, what we're going to do is just keep adding them to what we've done here. So here we're going to go up to create, and we're going to create a new component, and we're going to call this component part 2. And we're just going to go in an empty component and go OK. And you see that this original component sort of gets grayed out. And so we're going to click on the front of this. We're going to click on the front of that. So you select that's what that is where we're going to, the plane that we're going to work on. That's where we're going to start. So the first part that we're going to do is draw a rectangle, and we're going to go from this top point up here down to the bottom edge, and it sort of sees that it snaps to that, so it is 30. We can press the tab key to jump between dimensions, and it's 30 by 22. So press enter. We've got our little rectangle there. We're going to go finish sketch. We're going to extrude that. Now we want to extrude that, and we also want to extrude the two circles that are there, so make sure that you select both of those as well. Now the distance that we're going to extrude those is 13 millimeters, so type in 13. And if I just sort of put this on an isometric view for us, we can see that our shape is coming out from the top. Okay, so go OK. Now what we're going to need to do is to project the bed that's coming out the front of this part. So we're going to get our sketch tool. We're going to create a new sketch on that face there. Now if it helps, just reorientate the part whichever way it makes sense for you to be able to see it. Draw a rectangle from the top edge down. Now we're going to put some dimensions on that. So it needs to be 22 from edge to edge. So first dimension that we're going to put on there is 22 from there to there. Our second dimension is that it needs to be 6 mils thick. So I'm going to come out to the side, dive in 6. Now, the last thing that we're going to do is again is to make this even. So again, going from the center origin point to there, we need to make sure that that line is 11, which is obviously half of 22. So therefore, our rectangle now is all centered around that. Click on Stop Sketch. And then we can just tweak out our part. We want to create an extrusion from there. That hasn't given us the length of the extrusion that we've got, but basically our part is 60 minus 22. So again, we can write that as a formula. So we can go 60. I don't know why mine is jumping to that already. 60 minus 22, which is 38. As you can see, the 38 there. So in here, I haven't specified 38, but it's working that out for us. We want to join that part together, so then we can just click OK. On the ends of this part, we have two fillets with a radius of 1. So we're going to go Modify, Fillet, select the two edges, and type in 1 for the distance, and go OK. Now the last step that we've got on here is to do 2 holes in this top face. So we'll try our hole tool again. So we're going to go get the hole tool, click on the top face. We're going to change it from a simple to a counter bore again. So the top part of our counter bore is 9.5, the diameter. The counter bore depth is 5.4. The second part of that diameter is 5.5. And the depth of that then becomes 13. Now we're going to do our references. So I'm just going to rotate this around so I can see it from the front. So from that edge to the center to this edge is 10. And from there to the other edge at the back is 6. Go OK. There's our first hole. Okay, repeat the process again. So hole on that face there. Let's come up with the same measurements that we've got. This time our references are that it is 20 millimeters from that hole. And it should be 16 from this hole. And go OK. And there we go. So that's our part. Our holes have lined up beautifully with the holes underneath it. So you can see that all those holes are central to each other. But if you don't get a clear line of sight in there, then maybe one of your measurements is slightly wrong and it's just offset a little bit. So that's it for part 2 of the thumb vise.